This review is of 3 versions of the Liebherr R954C, and they've been produced for heavy transport models by Conrad. Model 292105 is an excavator in the colours of Giorgetti. Model 292106 is a sorting grab in red, and Model 292107 is an excavator in the colours of Bögl. All 3 models come in the same design of Liebherr box, but they're distinguished at the ends by a label that shows the model inside. For the unpacking, we'll look at the Giorgetti model, but there is one difference with this model in that it comes with a uniquely numbered collector's card, and that's a welcome addition, and hopefully heavy transport models will include that with more models in future. Inside the box there's the usual Conrad foam rubber wrapping, and the model just sits inside that. There's no assembly to do on this model, it's complete out of the box, and there's no information about the model or any information about the real machine. We'll look at the Giorgetti model for the detail, as all 3 versions are essentially the same, and underneath it's fairly plain and simple. The metal tracks look good and they're mounted on track frames which are pretty reasonable, although they don't have any working rollers, and the brass rivets stand out a little bit against the blue paint. The cab detailing is okay, there are seals on the windows, there's a nice door handle and a metal grab rail, but there's no windscreen wipers. And looking behind the cab, the graphics have been applied well, and there's some nice metal grills within the casting. At the back there's an exhaust pipe above the counterweight, but it's solid without a hole. There are painted lights and the Liebherr name is embossed within the casting. And if you're wondering about the website address, it's because Giorgetti is a Luxembourg-based company. Looking on the other side, there are metal grab rails along the top, and there's also metal handrails and a mirror at the front, although the mirror doesn't have a silvered surface. Looking on top, the engine cover is plastic, but the metal body has textured surfacing and other details, and there's hydraulic hoses at the boom foot. There are more hydraulic hoses and pipes detailed on the boom and stick, and the cylinder jackets have a pretty good colour match. And there's some more good Giorgetti graphics on the boom. The metal bucket is a nice casting with good sharp teeth, and perhaps only the brass rivets would have looked a little better painted. The red version of the model is pretty much identical, with just the work tool being different, and there's obviously rather less in the way of graphics. However, the finish is quite smart, and a good job has been done to paint the Liebherr name and number on the back. The difference on this version of the model is the sorting grab, and it's a metal part and it's well detailed, and you can see the bolt locations. Bögl is a large German company based outside Nuremberg, and the 3rd version of the model is in their colours. The paintwork is high quality and there appears to be a fleet number on the cab. The Bögl name also appears on the counterweight, and there's another logo on the opposite side. Starting off with the crawler tracks, they won't roll on a very smooth surface, but the mechanism is good and you can move the tracks really quite easily, and if you put them on a rough surface then there's absolutely no problem at all and the model works really well. The idler wheel in the track frames is spring loaded, so if you ever wanted to get the tracks off, that's easy to do. As you would expect, rotating the model is straightforward. It's a little bit stiff, but that means it doesn't swing around wildly, and you can pose it any way you like. The range of movement on the boom and stick is very good, and here you can see the boom goes very high. And you can also stretch the stick out so that it has a long reach, but again the mechanisms here are very stiff, but that's a good thing because of course it will hold any pose that you want to set. If you get to the bucket end of things, the range of movement on the bucket is excellent, and you can close it right up and open it right out. The range of movement also allows you to pose the digger digging at depth, and the bucket will reach right down underneath the machine, so you could pose it up on a stockpile or as if it was digging a very deep trench or excavation. You can also fold the stick right up so that if you wanted to pose the excavator on a low loader, you can form a realistic looking transport load. Now if you've got sharp eyes, you may have noticed that one of the hoses has popped out on the top of the boom, but it easily just presses back into place. The red version of the model has a sorting grab which you can either use on a demolition site or in waste management. It opens and closes really well because the 2 sides are linked together. And it's also a tight enough mechanism that you could also pose the model actually holding something. Another feature of the sorting grab is that it's removable and it just pulls off its connector at the end of the stick. And when you're done, it's an easy push-fit replacement back onto the connector. Here's the CranesEtcTV team using the sorting grab following a discussion about last night's football match. These are 3 interesting versions of the Liebherr R954C by Heavy Transport models. These are well-made models with good details and features, but it's the rare limited edition colour schemes that really makes them interesting. If you like excavator models that look different, then these are recommended.